Hey everybody, welcome. Here we are in season 7, episode 2, and we are glad you're here. And I hope that you'll be glad you're here because we're going to give you a heads up about something that's really important. I'm Larry Little.
And I'm Melissa Jackson.
And here's your heads up. It's coming. It's right around the corner. Valentine's Day.
That's
Melissa,
right. Don't miss this. Get to it early. Be intentional. You know, if you wait till the last minute, you don't have a lot to choose from. Those cards get really weird.
Oh my gosh.
They get kinda, the leftovers. You can do it.
Are you like, would you prefer for your husband, KJ, to give you chocolates, flowers, card? What is it?
Yes.
What's good?
Keep going.
Oh boy. Okay, you're not helping. You're not helping me. I'm trying to think that through. Well, let me ask you this: if he were just to like, look, cards are expensive. I mean, they're like $10 or something. I don't know. So what if he just like made you a card?
Oh, it would be so thoughtful. That would be really sweet.
Would that be sweet? Mm-hmm. Would that do it if he just made you something?
Yeah, making it. Yeah.
Is it a big deal?
You know what? I love when he does that and he gets our daughter involved. So that means so much to me. That's like a next level, just really solid.
That if he gets a daughter involved, then it's something, I mean, it's really good, huh? Mm-hmm. Well, okay, guys. So look, what I'm hearing is a little effort. They're looking for effort. They're looking for us to do.
Not perfection.
Not perfection. Just effort. Do something. Make a little effort to show your love for those that you love. I love it.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about love today, huh?
Yes. We're going to talk about how we receive and need love in different ways. And it needs to look different for different personalities. And so you can hit the bullseye. So the energy you do spend, because it takes energy to do those thoughtful things. But when you do that, you're hitting the right mark. You're hitting closest to the mark that really makes that person feel loved.
I love it. Well, and boy, is that important, because I think so many times we think we're hitting a mark, but we're hitting the wrong mark. We're not even, we're not even in the right vicinity. We think we're doing the right thing, but we're really not. So I think this is really timely, really important. Even if it's not Valentine's, I think it's good to know, how do we love those that we care about?
Yeah, because here's a question for us to ponder. You mentioned it. Have you ever felt like you were clearly showing love? You're putting the effort in, you were doing something, but the other person didn't feel it. So you got some kind of feedback that it really didn't hit the spot. Yeah. So your effort really didn't mean a lot.
Didn't mean a lot. I'll tell you, and it's so discouraging, because you have exhausted yourself, or you have put forth this effort at least, all for naught. All because you thought you were going in the right direction. And it's very important. I remember one time when I thought, so my wife is Camel, and we'll tell you about that. If you don't know what that is, we'll talk about it a little bit in a minute. And she likes tasks. She likes acts of service. She likes to check those boxes. So one Saturday I was tasking my little self away years ago. Task. I thought I was so proud of myself at the end of the day, or thought I'd accomplished all this and told, look what I've done. She goes, I didn't want any of that done. It didn't mean anything to me. She said, you didn't do any of my task. You didn't help me with my task. You did. She said, that's good for you, but that was your task. So I learned a lesson.
Well, I have one too for Kelly, actually, and to me, and we laugh about it. We still laugh about it to this day. And one time, Kelly got me pots and pans.
And he's a camel, right?
He's a camel. I am not. They were really pretty. I'll give him that.
That's so good.
But
that is so good. And I'm going to tell you, I got to tell one more with you, because KJ, I can see him doing that so easy, because Melanie, my wife, this Christmas,
she probably wanted the pots and pans.
She would have loved. What she wanted was, what are those things we put stuff in, and mix masters, the mix masters, the big, you know what a mix master is?
I have no idea.
It's like a big blender. Robin, do you know what a mix master? It's a big blender.
A ninja?
It's like a ninja, but a ninja on steroids. All right, but it's an appliance.
Okay.
Hers have gone down. You put cake, make cakes in and stuff. But anyway, hers had gone bad, so she said, for Christmas, I didn't want to buy her a blender for Christmas. Are you kidding me? So I'm like, I'm not.
She told you.
She said, but I want a blender.
She told you.
So she ordered it. She sat it in front of me and she said, this is what I want for Christmas. This is a true story. And I did. She said, now, and I knew, I got to thinking, okay, my camel, she doesn't like surprises anyway. She wants what she wants. I took it back to the room. I wrapped it. Dad's wrapping is always, you always know when Dad wraps because it's horrible. So she wanted me to wrap it.
But it was exactly what she wanted.
And the wrapping was an act of service. And
good for her.
Set it right down there in front of her for Christmas. She opened it up and was thrilled.
Now, I have already bought Kelly's Valentine present.
No, you have not.
In fact, I got it last night.
Come on.
Because he's been giving clues. He's been communicating.
What is it?
Well, he saw it and he laughed a little bit. But he's been communicating, giving hints. And, as a good turtle would do, kind of some hints. But so I brought it in. Well, he found it. I had gotten it last night. He helped me unload the car. It was a beautiful pot. It was a frying pan. He's been wanting one that would match another one that's really pretty. I mean, it's like bronzy. It looks like copper, but it's not.
You got him a pot.
Yeah.
I'm loving it. Hey.
Personalities are so important to how we love each other. So we got to get into this because we've got so many examples we can give. Do. It's so good.
All right, here we go.
Let's identify, first off, that personality influences how we show love. We understand that. It's super important. Yep. We're going to talk about love languages too. We're going to put love languages with personalities. So love languages can be misread when personality styles differ. So it's important to know. That these things, there's a connection there, and you have to get it. It's important to get it connected. Not right all the time, but connected. And people may be loving you deeply. This is so thoughtful. Listen to this. People may be loving you deeply. Just hang out there for just a moment. People may really be trying to show you love, and you may miss it because the language is shaped by your personality and their personality. They may be really trying hard, and we may totally miss it. Totally invalidate their effort. Totally miss it. They're spending energy because they're not speaking our language. So we've got to do something with that today.
Well, don't believe us. Listen to the data. Listen to what the data says. 76% of people accurately identify their partner's love language. And we'll talk about love languages and what that is in a minute. But they accurately know it. They know but that, because they know it, didn't make their relationship any more satisfactory. The satisfaction rate was not correlated to, and here's why. They knew it, but they didn't know how to give it. They understood there's a difference. They understood kind of what, but they didn't know. And so from a personality perspective, from a love language perspective, they didn't know, which is exactly why these relationships concepts, these make a difference concepts we're going to talk about today, are so powerful.
Think about how more improved, how better relationships could be if those two pieces got connected.
Ooh, wouldn't that be powerful? And if you don't think that is true, listen to this stat. 85% of couples report feeling misunderstood by their partner. Are you kidding me? 85%? I feel misunderstood by my partner, and they don't know who I am. I don't know who they are.
I think it's higher than 85%, but yeah.
Maybe. I mean, it may be, which means what we hear from that is that translates into, you know what? They don't allow me to be who I am. I can't be myself around them. I can't be and it's because they're speaking two different languages based on their personality. Their personality causes them to do that. And what that means is this is the danger zone again. Relationships that are in that environment, people who are in that environment where they're having to try constantly they're trying to love their spouse, they're trying to love the person they're in a relationship with, but they keep hitting a wall, causes stress levels to rise. That cortisol hormone, or that stress hormone, data says they have 25% higher cortisol levels, which means obviously stress levels rise, and we know stress is deadly. We know it's a killer.
Yeah, and you can stay in that fight or flight mode or freeze. You can be fighting. It can be internally, externally going on. You can be freezing up and just going blank, not know what to do, not being able to make any progress, or you can just kind of flight and just
I'm out.
remove yourself in the
Yep.
situation.
Yep. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna lay that on top. We're gonna do a little layering of the love languages with the personalities. Now, the personalities, if you're like, I don't know what these personality thing is, let me get just a quick overview of this. There are 4 basic personality types that we're going to be talking about that we've identified in our Make a Difference concepts. The first is the people-loving parrot. A people-loving parrot is extroverted, outgoing, and people-driven. So you just kind of hold on to that. Then you have the leading lion. The leading lion is generally large tasks, big tasks, get it done, extrovert as well, a driver, kind of go after it. Then you have the competent camel. Competent camel is task-driven, but small tasks, dot the I, cross the T. They are small tasks and more introverted, more quiet, and kind of processors. Think processors. And then the tranquil turtle is person-oriented, not people, person-oriented, and an introvert, thoughtful, kind of reflective. We'll talk a little bit more about that. But those are the 4: the parrot, the lion, the camel, and the turtle. Really important to know who you are, and really important to know who your spouse or your loved one or the one that you're in a relationship with. Really important to know who they are so that you can love them effectively.
Yes, and you can take this profile really quickly at thelittleprofile.com. Take it. You'll enjoy taking it. It'll be insightful to you. You'll probably want other people to take it. We'll also put a link for you to be able to learn more about the personalities. There's also the Make a Difference book out there. You can learn clearly. It gives you very hands-on, very good examples of the different personalities so you can understand more. But then also we've got a link, the love languages. So there are 5 love languages. So speak to those really quickly.
Yeah, a guy by the name of Gary Chapman developed these years ago, and man, they're powerful. Just to know the way that people like to receive love: words of affirmation, quality time, gifts, acts of service, physical touch. All right, so those are the 5 love. You'll hear us talk about those. We're going to layer those onto the personality types and give you some really powerful tools for connecting.
Yeah, so let's start off with some real life examples just as we get going in this thought process. And one is thinking about, a different love language, but the same intention. So the intention there, but the language is different. So that's like a lion who shows love by fixing a problem. So the lion is, wants to tackle it, wants to get the problem out of the way because there's another one coming. They want to fix it. They want to move on. With a turtle here, the turtle wants your presence, not the solution.
All right. So if I'm a lion in a relationship with a turtle, that's our context for this. I want to love you. If you're a turtle, if I'm a lion, I want to love you by fixing things for you. I want to protect you. I want to make sure things are done so that you don't have to do them. And I'm going to go busy. I'm going to get this done. I'm going to move. I'm always going to give you solutions. I'm always going to have something going on. But if you're a turtle, you don't want my solutions. You want my time. You want me to be there. You want my presence. I don't need solutions, Larry. I need you to sit and watch a movie with me. Let's read a book together. Let's take a walk together. Sit on the couch. And that, as a lion, I do not understand. And unless I get that right now, let me just say, guys, we are not talking about the lion turning into a turtle. That'll never happen, and we'll never want you to be somebody you're not. We're talking about a lion understanding how to love a turtle, how to get into that turtle's quadrant, if you will. And if you read the book, it'll help you understand that. But we're talking about a lion choosing to move over into where the turtle is, to speak their language, and then shifting back out to their own quadrant to renew themselves and get things done.
It's very different. The languages are very different. The personality is different. What they need to feel valued or loved is very different. And if we don't spend some energy there, we're not going to hit the mark. We're not going to be able to speak each other's language because we're only going to be mindful of our own language.
And it goes the other way. The turtle has to know, too, that everything can't be about in the moment. Can't be about being present, just being present. I mean, the turtle has to realize if I am in a relationship with a lion, I need to step up and bring some solutions. I need to step up and do something that fulfills that lion. So it's both. Yeah. Giving and taking.
Yes, it is. So the second example here is invisible effort. So effort that doesn't really get the attention. It doesn't really get the outward understanding of it. So it's a camel consistently and quietly supporting behind the scenes, being consistent, being steady. But the parrot needs verbal affirmation to feel loved.
All right, here's our context. You have a camel in a relationship with a parrot. The camel thinks, you know what, I'm going to take care of that parrot. I'm going to be consistent. I'm going to prepare things for that parrot. I'm going to make sure things are taken care of. I'm going to make sure all the details are covered. I'm going to have a plan. I'm going to change the filter and the air conditioner. I'm going to make sure we have meal prep. I'm going to make sure we have those things that need to be done to survive on a day. And while those are okay, it's not meeting the parrot's needs. The parrot's like, no, we can get somebody to change the filter. I want to have some fun. I want to know, do you love me? I need conversation. I want to sit down and talk. Do you really care about me? I need those words. I need to hear them. And so the camel doesn't, to the camel, words are not, they're not really important. What's really important are acts of service, really important of doing something. If you love me, show me by taking care of the details. So it's draining for a parrot to do that, but a parrot has to understand it's important to get over in that quadrant and give that parrot what he or she needs. The camel needs to understand it's important to lighten up and have some conversation, just meaningless conversation. Camel will be so frustrated if they put it in the context of what they need, because they don't need meaningless. They see that as meaningless conversation. It's not meaningless to the parrot. Mm-hmm. It's connecting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, two different languages, two different ways of experiencing love and needing love. And here's the last one, being overwhelmed by expression. So you've got the parrot who expresses their love loudly and often and by hugs and touch and they're saying all these, adjectives and using all this language. And then here's the turtle who feels emotionally flooded rather than comforted. We could put the turtle or the camel. We could put both of those probably in that. They feel emotionally flooded. That is such an interesting choice of words. Flooded. I can see that.
Oh, yeah.
They feel flooded. Like this is just
too much.
It's so much that it's
too much.
I want to get away. I want to get away from it.
Yeah, you're in a parrot who's in a relationship with a turtle. And, once again, we know what parrots need now. We've talked about it. They need those words of affirmation, those hugs, that enthusiasm, that conversation. They love to talk. However, that overwhelms the turtle. The turtle doesn't need that. They need time to process and think. And the turtle really just needs to be able to take a step back and have turtle time. Sometimes they may need to be alone, and that's not a thing the parrot does very well. Parrot likes people around them most of the time. They like to be around people. So if I want to give that turtle, first I need to figure out what her space needs are. What are her turtle time? Allow her to have that turtle time. If I'm a turtle and I'm in a relationship with a parrot, I need to realize, okay, I've got to get myself energized to have some conversation with that parrot. I gotta talk. I gotta, when I greet them, I've got to give them a hug. And if we're in a relationship, like a marital relationship or an intimate, then I got to give them a kiss. That physical attraction is really important. Physical touch is important. All those things are important to parrots. So you got to figure out, what is it that the person I'm in a relationship with, what is it that they need? And I have to get to where they are. Now, not change who I am. It's like I'm learning to speak another language. I want to go speak their language and then come back and be who I am, have my way to get filled up as well. But if they're giving to me while I'm giving to them, it's really a beautiful give and take relationship.
So as these three examples have been put out there, surely you have been thinking about some example has been coming to mind in your own life, or, somebody close to you. This is just real life stuff. So let's talk about how love language show up in personality, what that needs to look like. So if we start off with the parrot, that people-oriented person. So that love, as you have been saying, it looks expressive. It looks expressive in your face and in your body language. It looks enthusiastic, positive. It looks framed in a positive light, and it looks emotionally visible. So you have to have something. Your face has to say something. Your face has to be able to have emotion on it. So that is what it looks like for that parrot.
Yep, the parrot. If you think that and put it in the context of those love languages, words of affirmation are incredibly important. If you love me, tell me. They need those words of affirmation. They need to know that that you're there for them. Quality time might look like laughing. When you're together, create an experience of laughter, that kind of thing. And I think from the physical touch standpoint, hugs, being closeness, holding each other, really, really important. Those are some of the highlights. And here's some, you got to be careful, parent, because parents may say, look, I said I love you. I showed you. I celebrated. We had a we had a great time together, and I gave you a big hug. Why do you not feel loved? Well, because you may be a camel, and that doesn't speak. So I have to remember that if I'm a parrot, right? That's a misfire that I could do, but I have to realize this. What I need are words and hugs, enthusiasm. That is not necessarily what another personality needs.
And, having the wisdom to learn about that and understand that, it really gives a lot of grace in the situation. You can give grace in the situation. You can get outside yourself, and you can really look and see when someone's trying hard and they're making that intention to do that. And
right.
Maybe it's not just what you need, but you can accept that and be willing to give some grace for that. So let's talk about the lion. The lion being that task-driven person. So their love looks very intentional. So it doesn't look last minute. It looks like I put thought into this. I wanted to do something that really matters. It looks action-oriented. So it has to be something. So if you're used to behind the scenes and something steady, it has to be more front and centered, some action to it, and it needs to be purposeful.
It does. And if you think about from how do I love that lion, those words, they don't need praise for themselves or anything like that. Words need to be direct, very confident. We really have to help people, our parrots and turtles, talk about this a lot. Speak lion language. Lion language is very direct, speaking bullet points. Think big rocks. I call them big rocks. Speaking big rocks. And if you're going to give words of praise, it has to be tied to accomplishing a task. You got it done. The gifts, think something very practical they can use to get things done. They're not really that into to that kind of thing. If quality time is be on time for lion, because lions want to make, look, my time is limited. Be here, and when we're here together, let's be doing something. Let's be solving a problem. Let's go after it. Which lays into that acts of service. If acts of service for a lion is, I want to solve a problem. Help me. Take initiative. Come in and help me to solve this problem. If you join me and follow me as I do this and help me to solve this problem, that just really empowers. If you empower that lion, they really don't need physical touch much. But now here's the thing you have to be careful of. If you're a lion, a lion will say, hey, look, there was a problem. I fixed it. I got it done. Why do you not feel supported? And that turtle will say, well, because you didn't spend time with me. You didn't sit on the couch. Or the parrot might say,
speaking my language.
You're not talking with me. Who cares that you fixed the problem? I mean, great. We got a new alarm system in the house. Congratulations. I'm lonely. That kind of thing.
So let's move to the camel. So what does it look like for the camel? The camel being the task, the details, the structure. It looks steady. It looks steady and loyal and consistent. Very thorough, very consistent, very methodical, so that, there's longevity there.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And camels, to the camel, words can be very frivolous. So be careful about that and make sure your words are deeply sincere. Make sure that sometimes it's even better to write your thoughts. So they're processors, and the turtles are as well. We'll talk about those in a minute. But words aren't that important to the camel. So just know that the time that you are with them needs to be time that they have set aside to accomplish what they want to accomplish. It's time with them so they feel it's perfect. What's on their task list? What's on there? Then we shift over that acts of service. Like I shared earlier, this is really a strong love language for them, actions, but make sure it's the right acts of service. What do you need done? And in my life personally, I've said, you make your list and give it to me. Make your list so I'll know I'm tracking. And boy, that's worked for years. We still do that. She'll make a list. I can check it off. And now I know I'm tracking. And it's amazing the difference when I accomplish her list versus when I accomplish my list, the reaction that I get. So, and just know that physical touch, not much, really not going to be their love language generally. Oh, well, let me say this, one disclaimer. Hey guys, this is generalizations we're making. We know there are differences, there are exceptions. We all are a combination of personalities. So don't hear this and go, oh, well, I might be a lion, but I need work. whatever, know that this is generally personality type. So you have to investigate your person in a relationship to find out their needs.
That's good.
Right.
Good word. Good word. So let's go to the turtle. The turtle being that person oriented, very, very thoughtful. So the love for them, it really looks like you are attuned. So you're aware. Even though they're calm, they're steady, they're not, creating waves, but you're aware of them. You're in tune to them. You're not, missing them because they're not rocking the boat. They're very thoughtful, and they're going to be deeply personal, and they are going to give you the benefit of the doubt. They care about the relationship, the one-on-one relationship. And so for love for them, looks very personal.
Yeah, it's very personal. Your words really need to be reflective, deeply personal.
Are you being silent?
Mm-hmm. Sometimes that's what it means. That's what I just, it's so hard for a parent, so hard for a line to do that, but just, you see how uncomfortable that is?
Mm-hmm.
Not for the turtle. Turtle's like, I'm so glad he finally hushed for a minute so I could just process what he's been saying. And I had to learn that silence is golden for them. So words of affirmation may mean being quiet. That quality time means that one-on-one with them is really important to connect and walk. The gifts giving is interesting. We didn't mention this, but camels and turtles give really thoughtful, meaningful, cool gifts. They're good gift givers. They really are, because they put a lot of time and energy into it. Maybe not so much with our parrot friends or even our lions. The acts of service is more about caring. Their acts of service is more about compassion, showing that I care about those that you care about by spending time with them and connecting emotionally. Physical touch only to that intimate one or two people that they really care about. It's really, really, really important. But they have to, misfires for the turtle. We have to be careful, because just because if I'm a turtle, if I feel it, doesn't mean anybody else feel it. I felt it deeply, because turtles feel deeply. They love deeply. They grieve deeply. They connect. But just because I feel that deep doesn't mean the other person is, because I haven't communicated it. I haven't spoken their language. I haven't given them a chance to love me back, right? So just because I feel it, we may get, why didn't they see that? Why didn't they see it? Well, because we're not speaking their language.
So I hope we've talked about today and given some good insight on how personality plays into love and how the love language plays into how you feel love. So let's talk about some shifts, some practical shifts that you can make in order to put these two together and figure out how to love better. So this first one is to shift from this is obvious to this is translated. To shift from this is obvious, like you should get this. This should be so obvious. You should understand this.
It's the shift that I see so much in relationships. If they love me, they'd know. Look,
20-something years.
Oh, don't they know? No. Listen, the truth is sometimes love needs interpretation. And what I mean by that is I need to be able to speak your language and interpret love in your language, not my language.
Which is hard. It's not easy. Speaking different languages is not easy in general for most of us. And so even in personality, it takes energy.
It takes energy. Remember, I was tasking away in the wrong direction because I didn't interpret. I didn't give that right love language on the task list for the camel. So it's about knowing. Don't say, if they love me, they'd know. No. If you love me, or if I love them, I'm going to communicate to them what that love language. What is your love? Let's spend time understanding what that love language is, so that we can then act on it.
Yeah. So let's don't miss that. Love can be sincerely given and missed.
Yep.
And so really, it's so important to tune in to personality and love language. Right. So another shift is shifting from assuming to asking,
which falls right in line with what we just talked about. How do you do this? How do you get out of thinking it should be obvious? Well, you ask. Don't assume. You know what they always say: when I assume, it makes something out of me, and that is true. It does, because I think things that aren't accurate. So ask. Hey, what do you need? Hey, tell me, what is it that would show you love? How would you feel love? What can I do to love you.
You know, in this one, we can really gain more skills in asking questions and getting clarity and being able to make sure that we don't, think we know because we've been with this person for this length of time, or because we have some natural tendencies, or maybe some of our personality is similar, maybe it's not. Let's don't assume. Let's do the effort to ask the questions.
It'll pay dividends. Become the best. My goal is to become the best question asker on the planet, by the way. Ask good questions so you'll know.
And then the last shift here is shift from judging the style or judging the action to honoring the intent. I think this one is really good. I want to say it again. Shift from judging the style to honoring the intent.
Yeah, well, you just didn't get it. You just don't get it. No, that doesn't do anything. No, I don't. And I think you used the word grace earlier, and I think giving grace to the person we're in a relationship with to try and fail. They're trying. The intent is there. And then go back to me communicating, no, thank you for trying. Let me help you to get, because your intent is to get to where I am. And if I show grace and I can communicate instead of judging you, no, that is not. I know that's what speaks to you, but no. Let me help you to learn to love me better. Let me help you to learn to love me. And I think that is one of the most powerful gifts we can give someone we're in a relationship with.
So here's our challenge to all of us, that, we really allow ourselves to see the other person and how they're trying to love us. And we really allow ourselves to see their intent, and we do something with that.
That's exactly it. Make sure that we know we're all different. We're all a combination of these personalities. Understand our personality. And then we can ask questions to understand the love language. But then it becomes a choice, doesn't it? It does take energy. It does take, time. But choosing to invest in those, but choosing to learn who our other person is in the relationship from a personality perspective, and then for how they give and receive love is so important. And by the way, it's a choice. So you want to make this Valentine's Day special. Learn to love those you care about based on their personality and their love language.
So well said.
Happy Valentine's Day. And before we get out of here, such good stuff here. Thank you for this. And we went into some deep things and I think good things. So, but we cannot, we've got to, take a minute, because our listeners and those that watch us, they would be so upset if we didn't have a dad joke. Melissa, we've got to have, I know you've been waiting for this dad joke, and quite frankly, I've been waiting to share it with you. So I want to share the dad joke as we get out of here. Are you ready? All right, here we go. Was that a yes?
Yes.
Just checking. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Good. It's interesting.
It's a grunt.
Yeah. I ate a kid's meal at McDonald's yesterday. Yeah, I ate a kid's meal at McDonald's yesterday. His mother got really mad at me. All right, I hope it made you smile. We sure do. Thank you for being a part. Happy Valentine's Day. Thank you for being a part of us. And thank you for making those shifts, those little shifts that make a difference in the lives of those you love, live with, and lead. We'll see you next time on Relationships. Take care, y'all.
Little shifts that make a big difference. Relationships. Little shifts that make a big difference.